In the United States, the average height of female adults is approximately 5 feet 3.5 inches. Our guest today would be able to high jump several inches over their heads with a current best of 5 feet 6 inches. This currently ranks her second in the entire state of Michigan, regardless of high school division. Hello, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Blue Water Running Podcast. I'm your host, Maren, and this podcast is here to feature and celebrate the accomplishments of our high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area of Michigan. Today, we will be talking with Keirra Taube, a junior at Yale High School and a member of the track and field team. At the Saginaw Valley State University Indoor Invitational on March 20th, Keira won the meet competition in the high jump with her personal best, jumping 5 feet 6 inches. With that win, Keira also broke a 21-year-old school record, which was set back in 2003 at 5 feet 3.5 inches. Her current best ranks her second overall for female high school high jumpers in the entire state of Michigan, with the top jump currently recorded at 5 feet 8. Today, we will get an inside look at Keira's training and approach to her events, as well as get to know her personally as a Blue Water area athlete. Well, welcome to the podcast, Keira, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So the first question we have for you is to tell us a little bit about how you first got involved in track and field, specifically the high jump, and how many years you have been high jumping.
So, my whole family has been kind of like into track my whole entire life. And so I kind of just got into it there. My parents pushed me to do it. And high jump was kind of like a whole long deal where in middle school, all my coaches would try to get me to do it. And I refused because I was scared of it. And then freshman year, my coach forced me and she said, "You don't have an option. You're going to try it." And I completely failed, like miserably. I couldn't get opening height and I tried for a week and I just couldn't do it. So she said, "We're just not going to do that anymore. Like, you don't have to worry about it." And then last year, she said, "You are going to be in the 4x4 in the next meet." And I was like, I don't really want to do that. So I thought that, if I go do opening height at high jump, then I can just go to the meet for high jump instead. Which didn't work because I'm still in the 4x4, but that's okay. So I went and tried it and I had a teammate help me out and I cleared like 410 that day. And she's like, "Okay, so you're just gonna do this like for the rest of everything." So I've only been jumping for like a year and it's just crazy to me how it kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive considering your opening height at the first jump of the season.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's exciting. I mean, I'm glad I eventually got there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as many of our athletes listening have never tried the high jump personally, walk us through some of the specifics related to this event. I am definitely not an expert at high jump, so any tips or tricks or insight you have to offer is great. And then maybe walk us through a little bit of what a typical high jump practice or prep session would look like and how you train for this event.
Yeah, my biggest tip and definitely my biggest training is like plyometrics and weight training, strength training. My coaches helped me a lot in the off season putting together workouts, and I think those definitely help everyone who do any jumping events actually. Yeah, plyos is a big part of my training. Since this weather has been so bad this season, there's only been a couple days where I've really been able to do some jumping, but usually my high jump practices are kind of some approaches. And me and my coaches have talked about doing more specific high jump techniques and drills that'll improve my jumps and form and everything more. So I don't have a lot on that right now, but another big thing if anyone wants to try high jump is confidence because it can be so scary, but just having the courage to do it is like 95% of everything.
That is great advice. I would agree. Well, do you have any specific pre-jump rituals or routines that you stick to before a competition? For example, I know most jumpers count their steps or they have certain ways that they approach the bar. So, do you have any specific things that you do like that?
Yeah, I feel like well, it's kind of funny because I get poked fun at a lot from my team. Like, they're always like, "Oh, you do a whole dance before you jump," and it's true because I have this whole like I do some calf raises. I have to lean back a few times. It helps me just feel like I'm kind of jumping. Like, I'll do the calf raises. I'll lean back. I'll kind of do maybe like a back stretch or something, and uh, usually I'll do a couple run throughs before the meet. And that is just a big part of pre-competition stuff that I need. Like I can't go into it cold, which I don't think anyone really can. But counting my steps, I just kind of measure them out. And I know some people do it differently. They count them out or they measure them. But I just kind of measure them and then go for my spot, maybe change it as I need. But yeah.
Well, I also know that you compete in various events besides the high jump, such as the hurdles and some sprint relays. What are some of your other favorites besides the high jump that you enjoy?
I love the 200 race. That one is so fun to me. I don't do it, but it is just a race that I really like to do. Another one is the 4x4. I actually love it now, even though I was really against doing it. It's one of my favorites because I think it really helps to be on a team where they can push you because you know you're not just competing for yourself, you're competing for everyone and you don't want to let everyone down. So it just makes you be the complete best version you can be of yourself. I also love hurdles. They've always been like my event, I guess. Like since I was in middle school, that's something I've always done. And it's just like stability and stuff. I like the race.
It's interesting to hear you say you love the 4x4 because the 400 is probably one of the most simultaneously dreaded and difficult races in track and field. So props to you for approaching it with a positive attitude.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't run it without a team. I think that if I was in the open 4x4, I would hide in the bathroom before every race, honestly.
That would be a very relatable feeling. So, what are your big goals for this season? And what are you hoping to achieve in 2024 and beyond, too, if you're thinking big picture?
So, I've been thinking like a lot this year, especially uh, looking at colleges for track and everything, because I'm kind of getting to that point where people might start looking, or like I could actually potentially go to a college because of my jumps. But that's long picture. This year, I'm just hoping to increase my jumps, maybe get another school record. I think that would be amazing. And compete in states again this year because last year I wasn't really happy with how it turned out. But I'm really just hoping that this year I can get a little bit better.
So, if you were to try a new track event or field event, it could be either that you've never done before, what would you try?
So I kind of if I want to do something, I've tried it basically. So there's nothing that I really haven't tried that I haven't wanted to do. But one event that I've wanted to do is pole vault, and I tried it, and I was so bad at it. It was like pathetic. I can't get good at it. I tried it so many times. Even today at practice, I picked up a pole and tried to do it, and it was not pretty. But that is something that I always thought would be so cool because it looks awesome. But it's just something I couldn't do. It looks fun.
Yeah, that's a very difficult event and requires a lot of specific technique. I actually want to have a pole vaulter come on next because that's something I don't know a lot about. So it'd be very interesting to get some more insight on that. But yeah, I'm not a pole vaulter either. I don't think I could pick up the pole. So, what are your hobbies and interests outside of track? Just tell us about you as a person, what you like to do, what you're interested in, and how you spend your time when you're not competing in athletics.
I do a lot of things, like any other teenager. I like to hang out with my friends, and I love music. I've always loved music. I play a few instruments, not really like professionally or competitively or anything. But that's just something I love to do in my free time, like play guitar, piano. I used to play like cello and violin when I was younger. Like I loved everything.
All right. So, one last question to wrap up our conversation, and that is if you could meet any collegiate or professional athlete, who would it be?
Me and Sadie, like my teammate, we always actually joke around about this, but there's these two runners from Michigan. Their name's Mia Manson and Riley Amheiser, I think. And we're always like, oh, we're gonna be the next Riley and Mia because we're trying to go to the same college or something. And we always joke around about that. But I actually competed at Michigan and I saw them there, and I was so scared to like say hi or anything. So I didn't end up getting to meet them, but I think it would be so cool to meet them. And also Savannah Sutherland from Michigan. It's because she's just such an amazing athlete. Like she is insane, and I just think it would be so cool to meet her.
Well, here's a shout out to all those athletes. If you're listening, Keira wants
Yeah,
to talk to you.
biggest fan here.
Well, thank you so much for giving us a peek into what high jump is like and you as a person. We always like to highlight specifically different events that take place in track and field in the Blue Water area, but not just the athletes, but the people. And we all are people, besides being athletes. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with me. And I'm excited to see what you do this season and beyond.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's Blue Water Running Podcast. I can't wait to feature more cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area, so stay tuned because it might just be you. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, please share and subscribe. If you have an idea for a great topic or guest that you'd like to hear about, feel free to contact us through the website links or show notes. You can follow Blue Water Running on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also find our meet and athlete reports and articles at www.bluewaterrunning.org. Until next time, I'll leave you with this quote by Ken Doherty. The 5 S's of sports training are stamina, speed, strength, skill, and spirit. But the greatest of these is spirit.